Long days, pleasant nights, and welcome to Kingslingers, a Doof Media podcast journeying through Stephen King's Dark Tower series and beyond. I am your host, Scott Daly, and joining me, as always, tucked away in a freezer for her safety, it's Kim C. How's it going today, Kim?
Hello, everyone. Thank you. So heroic.
You got any air issues in there? No problems at all?
Nope. No suffocation. No internal cooking. Just miracles.
I love it. It was a noble sacrifice I did, and then I just left. What if, like, he tucked her in there and then, like, found a way out and was like, just walked out?
I wouldn't be mad about it. Good for you, little Rich, little baby.
We are here today to talk about episode 7 of Welcome to Derry. The episode is titled The Black Spot. It features the Black Spot fire, the moment that we've been waiting for this entire season. It was written by Jason Fuchs and Brad Kane, and it was directed by Mr. Andy Muschietti, who also makes a brief cameo. I don't know if you noticed him. He's when Pennywise is performing in the flashback, he's the one like playing the carnival music. That's him. That's our guy. Kim, where's your head at? What did you think about episode 7, The Black Spot?
Well, I think I like this episode the most out of them all. This is just such an action-packed, plot-heavy, explosive, quite literally explosive, very emotional episode. High highs and sadly low lows, but I think this might be my favorite episode.
I think that's fair. Here's the I'm trying to think of how I want to approach this. So I love TV, right? And one of the really cool things that I think TV can do is you can have a show that is struggling, a show that has its good moments, but also has its rough moments, and you can win back me, and I think people in general, with like one awesome episode.
Yeah.
Like I to use like the football metaphor, like you've been struggling all day, you're making mistakes, but like one amazing pass, one amazing grab, one play can turn the whole thing around. And that's what I love about TV, because you can't really do that in movies. Movies, it's too short and contained of a thing. But a television show, like I think a perfect example of this is there was a show called Paradise that came out this year. I don't know if you saw it or even heard of it. It's not a very good show. It's fine. It's like a fine show, but like its penultimate episode was, no joke, one of the best things I've watched on television this year. Like it was incredible. And so now when I think back about earlier in the year and watching that show, I have nothing but fond memories of a show that was pretty mixed throughout, but had one great episode. So like I was coming into this episode and I was thinking like, this could be this for Welcome to Derry, right? You have everything set up. We've had 6 episodes of, great moments, not so great moments, and everything in between, that we're doing all the hard work, doing all the heavy lifting of setting up all the plot, getting all the characters where they need to be, doing all the stuff so we can have the payoff. This is it. This is the climax, and we can do this over the next 2 episodes, especially in this one. So I went into this hoping for this, and man, it was going so great.
Yeah.
The show was moving the football. They were driving. They broke for a play, and they were running down the field, and they got to the 1 yard line. And sometimes how the running backs get so excited and they get to the 1 yard line and they throw the football just like half a second too soon and fumble it at the 1 yard line. That's what I feel like happened with this episode. That's what I feel like happened. I like so much of this is as I completely agree with you, the best this show has done so far. Like incredible stuff. Like we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about the Black Spot, like across the board. Amazing shit. I loved it. And then the episode continues after that. And I just felt my heart like sinking. Yeah. And then we get to the second of our military plan reveals. It turns out that when we said, hey, that plan's stupid, we were right, because even the military thought that plan was stupid. The problem is their actual plan was even stupider.
Oh, dear.
What a fascinating show this is. I'm so confounded by it.
I love your metaphor. It works so well because you're right. We climbed so high, to quote Gollum. You climbed so high, only to fall. And I do believe we fell, Scott. We fell hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is going to be an episode that's, that you're probably used to us by now. Like a lot of great stuff to talk about, a lot of really fun stuff, but I think we're going to show our frustration at times as well. So that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I will say, as usual, the second watch cooled me down a little bit. Like the first watch, like when you see where the story is going and you're just like hands on your head, like, I can't believe this is what this show is doing. When you go into it now expecting that in a second watch, the impact of it is a little lessened. So that is episode 7. Let's get into it. But before we do that, we did have some comments from last week's episode I wanted to get to. Some really funny stuff that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
The first was from Duran Longbeard, who just wants to say, I think whoever keeps eating those godforsaken pickled eggs from the bar is the real Pennywise. And man, do I agree? I almost thought about talking about that, and then I didn't. But those looked so gross, Kim.
Yes, they're room temperature. They're always there. Who is eating these?
Somebody it looked almost empty. It looked almost empty.
Oh, vile. Vile.
Yeah.
Was this real? People really ate those?
I mean, I have to assume that like the whole idea of having pickled eggs in a bar wasn't just like manufactured by television. So I feel like at some point someone decided it was a thing, and at some point people were gonna actually eat them or they wouldn't have them. So yeah, I mean, I think so.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yikes! Oh dear! Thank goodness for progress. Jeez.
Yeah. We did have several comments from some active or former military people that confirmed that, yes, it would probably be very easy for Will to ride off of the Air Force Base. They would not have stopped him at all just trying to exit, but he would have maybe had some issues getting back in. I mean, I guess you could argue if they recognized him, like it was the 60s, it was maybe security was a little more lax than it would be these days. But I just liked, I put out the word to our military listeners, and they let us know.
Copy that. Thanks, guys.
Also, Kim, a muted manufacturer read later at your suggestion. I don't know if you remember. Was it last week or a week before? I think it was a couple weeks ago. You recommended people should check out later if they hadn't done that yet. And muted manufacturer did, and they quite enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm honored. Yay. Good job.
That was a pretty quick. I mean, it's a quick read, but that was a quick turnaround. Muted manufacturer. Well done. Really dove into that book.
Gold stars. I'm so excited for you because it's nice to to have somebody say, oh, that wasn't just a crazy nutball suggestion. No, there's a lot of like dead people lore in that one. Great job. I'm so glad you read it.
Yeah, definitely. And last but not least, we have James W., who had this to say: is it possible that it gives the people of Derry, particularly the adults, brain damage? Would this explain not only the amnesia and ignoring of the horrible things, but also the dumb plans of the military, etc.? It would explain it. I guess my question would be, why do we feel like we need to explain that in any kind of way? Like it's just like a nebulous, weird thing that happens. Like, I don't think we need to attach like rules and guidelines to it. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh yeah, it's one of those where it's like, sure, we could plug that in. Of brain damage, sure, okay, like selective amnesia in the water, but wouldn't that affect other things? Like wouldn't the brain damage extend to other areas? Like,
sure.
Work,
yeah, probably.
Yeah, and then you got the Chester's Mill Dome people coming in to investigate. It's a big mess. So you gotta, let's pump the brakes on that for now, and then we'll circle back.
I sadly think I could see the show doing something that, like, I feel like the show feels the need to explain and make explicit the boundaries and the rules of all this stuff in a way that I would not be surprised if that's ultimately what the show does, is like, it's this acute brain damage and someone's going to get like an MRI scan. And although did they have MRI machines in 1962? I don't know.
Question mark? I don't know.
When was the MRI machine invented?
NASA probably
1970s.
did. Okay.
1970s. Yeah. Sorry.
Well,
we'll never know. We'll never know if there's brain damage.
I mean, in theory, yes, they're all brain damaged. They're just not paying attention. It's very true. It's very accurate. But like you said, how are we empirically explaining that?
Yeah. All right. So that was all the comments. Thank you, everyone. Please keep sending those in. We really enjoy getting to listen to your feedback and your thoughts on this wonderful, complicated show that we're in the middle of watching. All right, Kim. The black spot. Let's get into it. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the flashback? Do you want to start with Bob Gray and his daughter in 1908 at the traveling circus?
Oh my God, I really love this. I liked this so much. Let's start there.
Yeah, let's do it. So, I mean, what were your thoughts about it? I mean, I guess we can say I was kind of wrong last week when I was trying to, like, in my head lay out what the progression of the show would look like after the season. And I thought some of the stuff we learn in this episode, I thought was maybe stuff that they were going to be building to over the course of 3 seasons. Doesn't seem like we're quite doing that. But, one thing I said is I didn't really care how Pennywise chose to become a clown. But if they made the character interesting, I would be into it. And I think they made Bob Gray kind of interesting. And so I was into this as well.
Super duper agree. And I was pleasantly surprised because for whatever reason, I guess I just always associate Pennywise with all things despicable. So I assumed based on the fragments of Bob Gray we've got over the years that he was going to be some sort of lecherous, lizardy, freaky guy. And I was so delighted that he was warm and complex and he genuinely loves Ingrid. There's real father-daughter love there, and the show did a great job of showing us, not telling us, writers. They showed us that, he's been defeated by life. He used to have a razzle-dazzle circus life. Now he's in the low-budget, carny local scene. So he's favoring the drink. He's pretty downtrodden, but there's genuine love for Ingrid, and loves her dad. And it really connected the weird Ingrid stuff we've had all season because I saw this flashback sequence and I was like, this tracks so well. I would crave and miss a loving dad my entire life like that. That really worked well for me.
I so agree because, Ingrid is crazy. And I think this episode confirms Ingrid is just not well. There's a lot of Pennywise brain damage there. But I think we do need to understand the core of her choices there is because she loved her father so much, and I think in order to really buy into that, we need to see that he loved her too, and he did, kind of a shitty clown though. Is he a bad clown? I think he's a bad clown.
Why is he miming, Scott? Did they not talk back then? It was very mime.
I don't know. Why in his clown performance for children does he go from, this funny gopher won't let me pick a flower to my wife is dead and I'm sad about it and crying over her grave?
Oh dear. It was an odd choice for an act. It was very strange to take it to the dark side. My question is, why did those damn kids storm the stage? The hell? What is going on?
They were awful. Yeah, they ripped his head off or his hair off and pushed him out of the way. And I'm not no joking. This is the place this show has put me. There was a fraction of a moment as that was happening. I was oh, this is why it eats children because these fucking kids.
My goodness. Oh, most accurate. These little bastards. Good grief.
So tell me if this read is correct, though, because we know 2 things about Pennywise. Number 1, he looks like a clown, and number 2, in this version of him, he has 2 really big buck teeth. And the buck teeth thing, Bob Gray did not have buck teeth, right? That was not part of his Pennywise getup. But you know what he did have? He had some gophers. Had some gophers that were part of his act. So are we saying, show, is what the show is saying here, that the reason why Pennywise became a clown, but also with buck teeth, is that he watched this carnival presentation, which he did, and then said, I need to combine these 2 things because it is the clown and the gophers that is attracting these children. So I will combine them and give my Pennywise giant buck teeth.
I think that's 100% what they're saying. This is the Pennywise sandwich. We have this little guy, this little gopher, beaver, badger hybrid, this little guy with buck teeth and the clown suit. Let's sandwich together. This is us forever.
That's so silly.
I think they went maybe a little too literal. I think the show is so excited to explain the Pennywise origin story. They're like, why does he have this? What about that? And so, okay, show, we'll allow. Go for it, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like I didn't need to see how Indiana Jones got his hat, and I don't need to see why Pennywise the clown has buck teeth. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it worked. I think it's a great, I was wondering how they would do this episode because like we had this great cliffhanger, this build to this moment, this black spot moment. And like, it would feel a little bit weird to just go right into it. It feels like we need to give people a breath and then go into it. And I think that's what this flashback ultimately serves to do. I thought there was this one really weird moment as we move out of the flashback into the opening credits where we do like an iris cut on Ingrid as she's crying over her father. That's when like they close the aperture slowly, so it does it's a very like old school movie thing, and maybe that's what they were going for, is that like that was part of the aesthetic of how they're going to shoot the 1908 sequences. But it was like the only place it happened, and I was just like, okay, interesting show. Not a complaint, but just something that stuck out to me.
I love, you always notice the coolest details. I'm like, oh man, I watched it 3 times and Scott will find the thing I missed. It's great. I like what you said about the structure. I'm really glad it started the way it did. And the structure of this episode is very, very strong maybe I might say different for the last half. Like our third act is a crazy bus fire, but everything else before that seems really well executed and well thought out.
Mm-hmm. And that brings us into the black spot, which is, as we said, the thing we were building up to the whole time, this moment. And I mean, this all just really works on me at every level. Like I love the build up and like the release of tension as the guys first, we think we're going to get a shootout in the beginning and then they leave and then you know exactly what's going to happen. They chain up the door. It begins. Muschietti shoots this scene, and I don't know if it's like legitimately a one-er, but he shoots part of it like it's supposed to be. I think maybe he hides some cuts in there as people like run by the frame. But basically, the camera doesn't cut; it just moves around, and that really makes you feel like you're in the action and the kind of chaos of the black spot as it starts burning. And like, I think one thing that's been true for both of us this entire season has been, even when we struggle with the story stuff, the filmmaking in the show has been exquisite. And I think that the filming of the black spot fire was just excellent, like excellent across the board. I loved it.
Absolutely. It was wonderful to watch, even as shocking and terrible and awful as it is, as what we're seeing.
Yeah.
The nonstop movement, the chaos, the fact that you're watching the building engulf in flames, people are being shot, leaving and inside trying to defend themselves. It's so much chaos and yet a real tightly orchestrated, delicate dance, which was impressive.
With that being said, I couldn't help but feel a couple times that this would have worked even better on me if I knew almost who any of these people were, right? Like, I mean, we know Dick Halloran very well. We know Hank Grogan very well. And then, of course, we have the kids here. And it almost feels like, in retrospect, that we put the kids into this situation specifically because we needed to feel like to charge up the stakes a little bit, because so many of the other people are just like kind of no names. Like there were the couple of airmen that hung out with Dick like a couple times early in the season. I don't even remember their names. I just like recognize their faces. But really that was all we had to like grip onto with these people. And like, you know, I think in the video after it, when they talk about killing Rich, it's like we had to kill one of these kids to up the stakes. And it's like, well, like if we knew, like I was thinking about what our friend Jody said. She wrote a comment, but basically like what could have been here, and like her idea of what could have been was like, what if we the Black Spot was in existence when the season started. We came into the Black Spot in media res, and we got to like hang out there, and our new characters in town, Leroy and Charlotte, could like be introduced to the Black community in Derry by meeting these people and getting to know these people, and then we in turn would have known these people a little bit more as well, and then we would have felt a little bit more attached to them. And so maybe, like, I'm not saying they shouldn't have killed Rich, because I really like, as tragic and awful as it is, I really like the Rich death moment, and I'm not saying take that away. All I'm saying is just, I wish if I felt like I'd known these people a little bit more, I would have liked it a lot more. And again, an unfair comparison to Sinners, right? The same year. This is all in everyone's mind. I think one thing that Sinners did a really excellent job of was taking the time in the first half of the movie to really get us to know and understand all of these people. So when hell starts breaking loose, when people start dying, like, it's not just Joe guy that I barely know is dying. It's like, that's that person, and they wanted this, and they're like, I don't know. I think that movie did a really excellent job with that. And I just, as much as I like the Black Spot, and I just think if it had a little bit of that, imagine how much better it could have been.
Totally. +1 to Jody. I could not agree more that it was a very poor choice that we saw the Black Spot spring up within 1 to 2 episodes. If it would have been an established place and we could have had more time with these characters. Like you said, we don't even know the names of the airmen. I don't think we ever got their names, and that's tragic.
Maybe not, yeah.
That's tragic, because there's that moment where Dick Halloran, I mean, one of them is right in his face as a dead guy, and he says, make it right. And so they're doing a lot of powerful things with these characters, but it's lost because we didn't get enough time with these characters. We didn't get to mourn the Black Spot for what an amazing, awesome place it was for the community. So wholeheartedly agree. Really wish they would have done that differently. Yeah.
That being said, and I know I have that being said now, which is like, I think the universe collapses in on itself when you do that. But one thing we were talking about last week is I was a bit worried that like some of the messaging and theming of what the Black Spot represented and would get a little lost with the idea that Mike Hanlon is there. And so these people aren't there just because they hate Black people. They're there for a specific purpose. They're like crusaders for justice trying to capture this murderer. And I thought that would kind of distort the meaning of the Black Spot, and I actually ultimately don't think it did. I think the messaging and the understanding of what this is and what it means and what it represents, I think, was fully on display there. And I think it's just like, you just watch as these white men standing outside watching these people, these Black people burn and die for no reason, like for nothing. And so that the show managed to capture that, I think, rather well, actually. In the opinion of a white person, I thought it accomplished what it needed to there.
Yeah, nothing was distorted. It just fizzled down to the dark, evil heart of racism. And we knew it was there, bubbling under the surface the whole time. And the way the show explored it was curious at times. But I think it was officially revealed, and it was concrete that, oh, Derry's a racist bad place, period.
Yeah. Yep. Which brings us, I think I've been trying to avoid talking about this, but that brings us to our little boy Richie.
Oh, my love.
A moment that you kind of see coming. I think I called it last week, and they get trapped in there, and he throws Ingrid in the freezer, sits on top of, or not Ingrid, Marge in the freezer, and we have a moment, and it's like it's cheesy, it's a little saccharine, but like, I fucking loved it. It was great. It felt earned. Again, like similar to the Black Spot and the characters in there, I feel like if we had done the Marge Rich thing for maybe just a bit more than like 2 scenes in the last episode before this moment. I mean, I know that like the Rich side of it was established much earlier than a couple scenes, but on the other side of it, it was really just last episode that would have hit even harder. But as it is, it hit plenty hard enough for me. I thought that was sometimes cheesy and saccharine like is done because it works and it's emotional, and that's exactly what we got here.
I feel the same. I agree. It's totally contrived. I didn't care. And I cried all over the place. I was happy to cry. I loved it. I ate up every word. I cried so much and I loved it. And R.I.P. Precious Baby Rich. I love you.
Even him dead on the side of the cooler, like perfectly, like like he just died of smoke inhalation. He was like not burned at all. Nothing collapsed on him. Just like perfectly sitting, just so she gets that final moment at the end. Loved it. Loved it.
Scene,
poor little Rich.
Oh my God, Scott, that scene was so incredible. Like that scene was so great because she emerges from the little box. She walks around. There's no dialogue. It's just music. It's pretty silent. And then she sees him. She kneels and leans on him. Then Ronnie comes. Then Will comes. And there was just this, I felt the love. I really did feel it. I think it was done so well. Nobody said anything. Not a word was spoken. It was just them and their friend who was no longer alive. And I was inwardly, I was clapping. I was like, okay, you got me, guys. You got me. I am crying. I celebrate this moment. Good job.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Fantastically done. A real tragedy. I'm not going to say like I'm glad the kid's dead. I'm not, because it's very sad. But like this is a moment in the show that they earned every bit of emotion that they portrayed there. And I'm going to update my prediction for the end of the show. You know, last week I talked about it's going to be Marge throwing the airplane off of the standpipe. I still think that's going to happen. So here's what I think is going to happen. This is a bold, specific prediction that I'm going to have. Having defeated the clown and survived somehow, I don't know how that's going to work, but it's gonna. Marge is going to stand on top of the standpipe, eye patch on. She's going to throw the airplane. The airplane's going to get picked up by the wind and shoot down towards Main Street. And as it goes down toward Main Street, the camera's going to shift a little bit. The color's going to shift a little bit. A hand is going to reach up and grab it, and it's going to be little Richie's hand. And then his mom is going to yell at him, "Richie, come inside. It's time for dinner." And she's going to have an eye patch on. And that's how the show is going to communicate to us that she named her son after Little Rich. And that's how the show is going to end. It's going to connect the losers from 61 to the losers from 1980, whatever that was, 7.
Dude, these Scott script moments just annihilate me. You need to be a staff writer. We need to get you in there. That's so gorgeous.
I feel like I don't think that's actually going to happen, but I feel like the show, like I feel like emotionally it works. So I would not be surprised if it's something not dissimilar from that.
If it doesn't happen, I'm going to be mad now because now I'm imagining it and I want it.
Because what I'm trying to do is answer the question of like, yes, I want our prediction to be correct that this is Richie's mother. And also the second question of that is, okay, well, how does the show demonstrate that? How on earth could the show possibly teach us that?
Right.
And we don't know, but I hope we do something like that. That this would allow us to do something like that. So we'll see.
I'm preparing for total disappointment, so I don't know if they are. I don't know if they're going to bridge it. I would love if they do that, but I don't know if they will, Scott. I'm preparing for the worst and hoping for the best.
All right. So I want to talk about, we get our "why the hell you dress like Batman" moment with Ingrid.
She looked good. I love her. I love the full periwinkle.
I think she looked ridiculous. And I thought, like, I was like, you look ridiculous. And the show wants you to look ridiculous. Like when she takes out her stupid little horn and it doesn't even really work anymore.
It was totally busted. It was busted.
I thought it was fantastic because it's just absurd. Like this, like she is without a doubt one of the dumbest people on the history of the planet. Like it takes that moment. So just so let's go through the motions. Pennywise cuts off her husband's head, like in the middle.
Yeah.
Picks it up, eats it twice, and just chomping on it. Then says, "Okay, good job. I'm going to sleep now. Goodbye." And then and only then she's like, wait. You're not my dad.
My dad wouldn't abandon me.
It wasn't the head eating. It was the, I'm going to go sleep.
Yeah. Don't leave me. Yeah. This is another one that I had to wrestle with because I liked this scene a lot because she is Cuckoo Pants. But we saw her in 1908 as a sweet little angel in her periwinkle costume. And so now we've got middle-aged Ingrid in the periwinkle costume. And so I enjoyed that. I like that parallel. She's desperate. She's crazy. She has this moment with Bob, sort of. And, she saw a kid die in 1935. She saw her husband's face eaten. And wait a minute, you're not my dad. I was like, cheese and rice, cheese and crackers.
Yeah. I understand the show like needed at this point to be the point where she gets it, and also she lays hands on Penny. Like he was gonna just let her go, and then she lays hands on him and like, you don't touch me. You're getting deadlit. So, I mean, I think there are a lot of questions there, and I think ultimately the show will continue to answer those questions. Like I said, I think a lot, not as much of a part of the future seasons will circle around Ingrid as I thought last week, but I still think it will. We're gonna definitely see her again in the 1930s section for sure.
Oh, cool. I thought we would be done with her. I thought she's in Juniper Hill now,
you think so?
Forever. Oh yeah, she's deadlit. She's catatonia. I think she's just.
Well, I mean, but the second season is going back in time, so we'll see the younger version of her.
Copy that. Yeah, I'm on the same page now.
Hey, okay. I don't remember. You watched the movies before, much more recent than I did. Did the movies like do a decent job of like explaining what the deadlights are and what it means when you get all deadlit? Because we have two characters in the show that happens to. One of which is Will, who we know is going to get out of this thing relatively unscathed at some point. Did they explain it all? Because like I'm just trying to think of a viewer who hasn't read the book that is just going off the movies, and when Pennywise does his open his mouth really wide thing and suddenly we see three lights, and what does that mean? Right.
It chapter 2, because Beverly's the one who gets deadlit. I love that that's our new verb now. It's stuck. So she's down there, and I think they ask her what it was like, and I think that's the extent of what we get, and she just says it's empty, timeless, nothing. It's madness, and I think that's what we're supposed to. But then in chapter 2, I don't know if the deadlights is what makes Beverly see the visions of all of their death. That was a plot hole from hell that I will never forgive them for. I hate it so much. So to answer your question succinctly, no, Scott, they explain nothing. I think the deadlights were just supposed to interpret it as like timeless, frozen madness and floating.
Sure. Okay, that's fair, because I think that's what it's operating as in this, because we see Ingrid is indeed catatonic, and then it happens to Will at the end of the episode, because presumably he's going to become a damsel in distress in our finale. So okay, where do you want to go from here? I'm afraid, because now we're leaving the parts of the episode I really, really liked.
Let's talk about how they've completely screwed over the Scott-a-Wop Scott people and made them look terrible.
Oh my God.
I am incensed.
So I think this is...
I'm so mad.
I think this is so... Because like, so I pointed this out, and I think you agreed with me at the time, where it was like, we had this idea that these are like the watchers on the wall, essentially. Like they are the ones guarding it. And I was like, that's a little weird that you have like, you have a greater understanding of this monster than anyone else, and you have this tool that it's weak against, and yet you sit around and just kind of talk about how many people have died. And then the show brings that back around in this episode and almost like addresses that problem, where it has someone specifically bring up that thing. Is like, geez, all these deaths, all these children deaths, shouldn't we do something about this? And Rose's response is, you know.
We did our best. Did we?
We do. what they say is we do as much as we can for as many as we can. Focus on the lives saved, the ones protected, because we keep this thing in its cage. And I think that's really interesting because, first of all, once again, what we said that episode a few weeks ago, we have not seen what they do. The one thing we have seen is Taniel and a couple of his friends kind of spying on the government, keeping track on how successful their search for the pillars is going. And that's pretty much it. I mean, we had the Niebolt Street moment, which I'm now like more convinced than ever, Kim, that was just a Taniel misdirect. Because like
I hope so.
We see where one of the pillars is buried, and you ain't getting there from the sewer. So I don't know what any of that was. So maybe that was just a misdirect on his part. So maybe that's part of what they're actively doing to keep but like, other than that, what are they doing? Like in a cycle time when the government is not there trying to dig up the pillars, like what is the day to day? What is the 9 to 5 of this group of people in doing what they can to keep the thing caged? Because it just seems like, from my perspective, there are these things that they put in turtle shells and buried in the ground, and they're pretty much just running on autopilot until you pick one up and melt it. So I don't know. I'm so confused by this.
I'm so confused and I'm so angry. I mean, natives are always underrepresented in film, and then you put them in this show and you make them do nothing as all these people die, and then they comment on, gosh, we should do something. I wonder if we could. And then it said, oh no, we keep the jail locked. That's what we do. We keep the pillars protected. What? So you really are solidifying that you are allowing this. You are absolutely enabling these cycles. Mm-hmm. You don't do anything. They could have showed us. They could have given I'm so mad. I think they could have had, and hopefully, like we've talked about, maybe there were edits and cuts and things that they had to shorten, and maybe there was more things where the Scottawaps did try to intervene and then they couldn't, or whatever. You could sell it to me that they tried. But now people watching this show just look at the tribe and say, oh, they don't do anything. They don't do anything to help anyone. And they know the truth. They know the cycle. They know the death. They know the augury. They know it all, and they don't do anything. And that's devastating.
Yeah. And maybe, like, you know, I guess the problem with it is there's a version of the show where, like, Rose's arc over the course of the show is perhaps learning that I need to do more, that I need to step up, that, like, it's not enough to just keep this cage going, that we have to step in and help people where we can. But what the show has done now is, by destroying one of the pillars and basically getting the situation where Pennywise is released, they're stepping in at this point is just carrying on what they were already doing, which is our sacred goal is to keep these pillars safe, and now we're stepping in because one of the pillars has been disrupted. So it's not even like, I think the tribe and Rose is going to ultimately, like, have a big part to play in the finale of the show. I think that's still going to happen, but it doesn't undo, in my estimation, like, the damage of just building this group of people that's job, it seems, is to essentially sit around and watch children die.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a huge fan of it.
Samesies. I'm hoping that we get some badassery in our final episode, but like I said, expecting nothing but zero expectations.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. It's just, the part of it is just so difficult to parse because I feel like so much of it is so clunky and uncertain about so many of these characters. Like, I mean, this is a stupid thing to complain about, but when they're talking about the black spot and what happened at the black spot, they say, how many died at the fire at the black spot? And I was like, hey guys, how did you know it was called that? It was around for one day and you never went there.
Right.
I mean, again, that's like on the totem pole of things wrong with some of the stuff. Like, that's not a very big one, but just, it occurred to me for sure.
It's in the U-Haul truck of problems we have, and and inconsistencies and potholes. That's where we put that one. Oh my goodness. Go ahead.
I do think, just to say one more thing about this, I do think ultimately, like, what I think we're doing here, and other people have had this opinion. I think we had a listener who said this thing to us specifically was, what if the idea with the pillars and these rocks is that they, in and of themselves, have no power? They are meaningless. They are just rocks, but it is the belief in them that gives them power. This is something that I think both the book and the movies kind of did. This idea of what Pennywise is like, he feeds off your fear, but also he is strong because you believe in that. And so like belief is a very powerful thing tied to this whole idea. And so maybe what this is supposed to gesture towards is this idea that like we are, by existing here and standing watch over these pillars and believing in the strength of them and continuing to foster that sense of belief in the power of these rocks, that is what that is how they are empowered. And so that is what they are, quote unquote, actively doing to keep Pennywise at bay. The only problem with that is nowhere in the show have they made that even implicit.
Yeah. Like
it's not in the language of like, there's not even any like subtext about like, oh, Pennywise is only powerful if you believe in him. That's not really what the show has done. So to say that as like that is kind of like a Band-Aid on the problem, but I don't think it's one that's actually supported by anything the show has said.
I like that a lot. I like the belief is the real power, and the tribal belief is probably super powerful, but we just don't know, and we can't see it as viewers. But yeah, like you said, they haven't explained this, they haven't highlighted this, so yeah, all around, no bueno.
Yeah. Okay, so Lily. How's Lily doing, Kim?
Oh God, she looks like death warmed up. What is going on?
Yeah, so we cut to Lily. She's sitting in her bed with her hand. She's got one hand on the dagger, and she looks awful. She looks really bad. And I mean, part of that is she feels completely alone. Her friends have abandoned her. The one grown-up she thought was listening to her. I still don't know. Like, I was pretty convinced last week we were doing Ring of Power stuff with the dagger. I'm less convinced of that this week because I feel like we would have hit that beat a little bit in the scene with Lily in this week, and we really didn't. But man, does she look awful. So maybe that awfulness is just the natural exhaustion of a woman being driven insane. But maybe it's a little dagger.
It's gotta be the dagger. Another anomaly, another giant question mark. Like, what are they doing with that? I hope you're right, and she's just not in a great mental place. She doesn't have any support. Her mom is on Mama's Little Helpers, so she's on Valium and she's checked out. Yeah, I'm hoping that it's that, but they're doing something with this dagger. This dagger has power that's draining her in some way, and we don't know why, and they're gonna dump it on our lap in the next episode, or they won't, and we might never know, which they could do because they're irresponsible and stuff. So I don't like it, Scott. I don't like these lingering, dangling, like, what? Why? The dagger is supposed to be a weapon of to save you, to help you, so why would it? I don't like this opposite thing happening. I don't get that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I guess we'll see how it plays out. I mean, I think so. One thing, the end of the episode, and we'll talk about General Shaw in a moment here. We're going to have to do a lot of talking about General Shaw and his plan. But before, like, the end of the episode is they destroy the pillar, thus releasing it. It has already gone into hibernation, but it wakes up. Sure, whatever. Yeah. And
SW. W.
Get your sure whatever t-shirts at doofmedia.myshopify.com.
They're so great, guys.
I forgot to say that at the beginning of the show, but I'm saying it here now. So go check that out. So it is released. It wakes up, and the first thing it does is go for Will, and it deadlights Will. That puts us in a really interesting place because, like, I think my estimation of why that is happening is it wants Lily, or at least it wants the dagger out of the picture. So like there's one argument to be said, okay, one of the pillars is destroyed. There's a hole in the fence. Why is it not just beelining for the hole and getting the fuck out of Dodge? And like when it appears to Will, like Will is at his Derry house. He's not on the Air Force base. So it's not as if Will, like it appearing in Will's house is like significant, like, oh, you're out of the bounds of where you used to be able to go, right? No, that like I'm pretty sure Will's house is in Derry. Like that's the whole conversation that Charlotte and Leroy have, where it's like they say, I think the best place to hide out is in our house. And she's like, in Derry? And Leroy's like, yeah, but it's fine. He specifically says the worst of all this shit is behind us, which is, God damn it, Leroy, come on, man. You can't say that. So I think when the house that Will is at when Pennywise calls is the house that they live in Derry. So Pennywise being there is not an escalation of his territory or whatever. That's just one of the places he could have always gone. So, I mean, going for Will is a specific choice because there's not really like a thing with it and Will. Like they haven't, like there's a thing with it and Lily. Like we've seen that, but we really haven't seen that with Will. And so it must be we're using Will as a damsel because we want to get Lily in some way because she's got the dagger. And maybe the idea is like he's afraid of the dagger. He knows he can't go directly for Lily, but he wants that as a piece off the board before he tries to escape. See, I feel like I'm doing so much work to try to explain this.
You are.
But I just ultimately don't understand it. And maybe next week they'll make this all clear and it'll be perfect, but I don't know.
I love how Scott tries to fix it and make it better. I love that. I also think that, as you mentioned a couple episodes prior, they're always working backwards. They're always writing backwards. Yeah. And so if we remember from the Scott origin story, it was all female. We have War Chief Susky, her daughter Nakani, and it was an all-female troop. It was an all-female group. So that's what we're going to have next week. We've got Ronnie, Margie, Lily, three girls going in, assuming to the sewer, just like the women of the origin story is, I'm guessing, what they're going to do.
Sure.
Here's my nerd zone, though. Do you think, this is really me swinging for the fences, do you think like this all-female feminist twist they're doing, which I like actually, is this in some way connected to Beverly? Are they doing something with that? It might be too soon to tell. But
I have not thought of that, but probably.
Okay. We'll put a bookmark in that one.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it is a legitimate question of like, I'm not sure how all this thing wraps up at this point. Because honestly, what I was expecting, and I know we had seen the one sequence of the mist rolling into the town, so like I knew that was going to happen at some point. But honestly, what I was expecting is I was expecting this episode to kind of serve as the climax of the story,
right.
Maybe a little bit hanging into episode 8 next week, but then like the majority of the 8th episode was kind of going to be like the denouement of the story and the season, and start moving the pieces and setting it up and like revealing the one big question that I still have, which is like, how are you going to tie this back to 1935? And indeed, like, why did you choose to tell it backwards? Like, I think the show needs to make its argument for why we're going to do this anthology thing through time, but we're going backwards in time. Why do it that way? And I think that is something it's going to ultimately need to answer in the last episode. I thought that was going to be the majority of the episode, but that's not what we're doing now, because we've reached the climax, right? It is released. It is out. What does that mean? I don't know. Why, if it had escaped from his cage, is it throwing a bunch of mist into Derry? I don't know. How does it have mist powers? I don't know. We'll find all this out, I guess. Sure.
Right. I'm really nervous about this mist. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
Scott. I am very, very concerned. But
Yeah.
circling back to Pennywise choosing Will and Pennywise slipping out of the bars. But yeah, you're right, Scott. Like, he's not anywhere he couldn't go before.
Yeah.
So is the rock melting correlated to him waking up from his nap do we think? Like, what is the rock melting? How does it play a part in our final moments? Does it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the problem of this is like, so let's go back to the story of it and talk about why there is a 27-year cycle in this story, right? And the real reason for it, the Watsonian, or the Doyleistic reason rather, is because Stephen King wanted to tell a story about kids and then as adults. And so an event needed to happen when they were children, and then they needed to be old enough as adults that enough time had passed that they have to return to this event. And so he created this idea of a cycle. And this is the idea of like this cyclical thing that preys upon generation after generation, and 27 years is roughly generation lines, right? That is why it exists. But like, if we have a television show that is essentially putting like detail and like explanation to every single one of these things. Why does it affect Derry? Well, it has discharge. Why does it only stay in Derry? Well, it's contained by these rocks. Like we are putting explanations and details and rules around everything that was in the past, just kind of like just this nebulous thing that happened and we weren't really worried about it. So suddenly we have the idea of the hibernation, and now we have to kind of attack that in a way we didn't have to before, because we could have just said, it just does the thing. It's just like it eats and then it says I'm full now, and then I'm done, and I'm gonna just go to sleep. I'm done. But now we have to like say, okay, but what's the actual point of this? Because it was asleep. It was in hibernation. It was sitting in its gore pit, which is weird. And then the rock was destroyed, and it felt that, which fine. I can believe it would feel that, right? If it's this
Right.
presence containing it, in the same way that we see that Dick Halloran felt the presence of it and knew the second it had gone into its hibernation, I can fully believe that Pennywise just can feel the power of the stones and recognizes the change the second one's unleashed. So it's okay, I'll wake up. Instead, I won't go to sleep. So then you have to start asking the questions, okay, well, does it have to go to sleep? Or was it just like, I'm bored, I'm full, I'm going to take a nap? And I don't know the answers to those questions. And like, I shouldn't have to ask those questions, but because of the way the show is doing its plotting, I have to now.
Yeah.
And so now it's just like, now it's like, how does this end? Right? Because like, here's what we know. We know it doesn't die in this season, right? Because it's a prequel. We know it doesn't escape from Derry because it's still in Derry in 1987. So they've got to reestablish one of the pillars. The only way I can think they do that is through the knife, right? Like,
Yep.
if the thing that they melted down worked, then sticking that knife in the turtle shell and burying it there would work as well. So that has to be the way forward. But you got to explain to me why Pennywise, if he didn't need to be napping, why didn't he just like beeline for the exit? And then she's like, I'm out. Fuck you. I'm gone. I'm going to stay as far away from these pieces of pillar as I possibly can. Like, okay. Ultimately, what you have to do is you have to attach motivation to a creature whose primary motivation has always just been, I'm going to eat stuff. And that's it. And now suddenly we need to be thinking about like, what does it want? What does it need?
What's motivating you, Pennywise?
I don't want to do that.
No.
I don't want to do that. So yeah, we're going to have to do it though.
Yeah, I too am upset. This was not part of the deal. This is not what we signed up for. We wanted the Eater of Worlds. That's all we needed. And now there's all this crap with him slipping through the bars, and maybe I don't need to nap no more.
Mm-hmm. Why didn't they just put, and maybe we'll see next week, but why didn't they just put Will in a place where Pennywise showing up would be shocking and mean that he can go beyond his range now? Like, they could have just had him stay at the Air Force Base. And like, honestly, at first, that's what I thought it was. And then I went back and watched the episode again, and there's an exterior shot of the house that he's in that's just the house that they lived in Derry. So I don't know. I don't understand.
Me neither.
Make it make sense, show. You've got 1 hour to make it all make sense.
You got 1 hour. Because, yeah, I guess I think what they're largely saying is maybe the rocks equal the nap. So without the rocks, no nap, which is crazy. And that's how we have to figure this crap out, like kindergarten equations, because it's so messy, Scott. It's so messy and dumb.
I still really like him. Like his daughter's so happy Ingrid's so happy to see him, and he's like, I'm gonna go to sleep now.
It's so good. It's so good. I really liked that scene though, where it's like a beat of silence, and she goes, "Hello, Papa," and it says, "Show me the bow," but it's Pennywise, and I'm like, "Holy shit! Oh my god!" Like, I don't know. It worked for me. It worked for me because we've never seen Pennywise act like anybody, but Bob Gray is definitively in there. So I dug it. I dug that scene, at least until Ingrid showed her crazy, and then it all dissolved. And up until then, it was very cool.
So do you think that there is like, is Pennywise just bullshitting, or is there like a little bit of Bob Gray in there?
Another terrific question. I think that I would like to believe, I'm leaning toward the fact that maybe this is also so wild, and this opens another giant can of worms. If the victims are somehow still inside Galoo, that is nuts. And so I'm 50-50, I think, Scott. On 50% thinks, yeah, he's totally bullshitting. He's just a demon who or an entity who just like perverts precious things. The other 50% is like, or maybe, what if Bob Gray's really in there reaching for his baby girl? And he says that, he like mocks it. And like, I don't know. I mean, it could, possibilities are endless, but I don't know.
That would be such a fundamental change to everything that it is, but like, sure, whatever, right? Like that could be something that I would find interesting. It would again not really be part of the book that I enjoyed, right. But it would be an interesting wrinkle in this whole thing, right? So yeah, maybe, I don't know.
They're doing it. They put this in motion. They put this crazy train on the tracks to say. He's telling her, he's like, your Bob's in there and he's reaching for you. Like, oh, that's so effed up. Like, oh, I can't believe, like that scene really gives, when you watch it a couple times, you're like, this is, like you said, this fundamentally changes everything. This completely, and I don't know if it's a good thing. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't talked about Dick Halloran yet this week. The hero of the Black Spot. He did save some people, for sure. So I think we were all happy to see that he had the children and Hank Grogan, who I thought was going to die. He did not die. He got out of the Black Spot. So that's all good. And he saves them by acknowledging the ghosts. So this thing that we established last week that he didn't want to do, that he was being asked to do for the sake of the mission, he did for the sake of saving some children. But he almost left him. Yeah, just like he was about to leave him.
Yes, sir.
And then he didn't.
How badass did that war chief look? Chief Sesky with that headdress. Cool. That was bomb. I really like that.
That was cool.
But you're right, Scott. He almost hightailed it out of there and let him die.
But then we're left with a Dick that is like reeling from the fact that now all these ghosts are like kind of constantly tormenting him. I do have one question for you. Why do we think he told them where the pillar was? So like, this is something I'm like, from a character perspective, I think the Dick we saw at the end of last week is like, fuck this shit. I'm done. This monster, this entity came in and ripped the top of my box off. It's way too powerful. It scares me. I'm done helping the government do whatever the fuck they want to do with this thing. I'm done. And we see in this episode kind of a shell-shocked, not doing well Dick Halloran that just says, oh no, I think I can find the pillar. Just follow that chief over there, standing over there. Why do we think he did that?
Dude, I don't know. I am so confused as well because, Yeah, for all the things you mentioned, it seems like a real switcheroo. He was super over it, not going to help. He's in such an emotionally compromised spot. That's what I'm leaning towards. He's just nuts at this point.
Yeah.
Bless him. He's so messed up. He is so broken. Poor Dick. And so this is interesting, though, because he tells the military, I don't feel him anymore. It's like he went to sleep. It's like he turned off. But yet, then we have in the last act of the show, the digging scene where they find the turtle shell, and it's where Chief Sesky was buried. And so I don't know if it's definitive. Does he want to just get it over with? Does he want to just, or is this how he's coping? Like you mentioned, he's finally listening to the ghosts and just trying to see if this is how you get through. I can't put the box away.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to kind of see if we have time for that in the finale of kind of explaining his actions a bit. I mean, I do wonder where the show is going to ultimately leave him. Like, I mean, I don't know how connected to, like, there's been a lot of talk about how this version of Dick Halloran is connected to the man we see in The Shining, and which version of The Shining he's connected to and all that. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm very curious. Like that was my gut reaction, was like, I don't understand why you're doing this in this moment, Dick. And I think maybe the explanation is just what you said, where it's literally just, he's not even really paying attention anymore. He's being pummeled by the voices of these dead people constantly. And he's just like, whatever. Like, I'm overwhelmed and not actively even thinking about what I'm doing anymore.
We may have addressed this or talked about it earlier and I just forgot. Very, very possible. Do we know why Pennywise is not eating him or pursuing him, but is just messing with him? Do we know?
No, I don't think so.
Just because, right? Like, that's another curious thing we have, because we have this immensely powerful character. We know the Shine is just this otherworldly power, and Pennywise exploited it, and he seems to be messing. We have this awesome scene where there's all this fire behind Pennywise, and there's all these dead people. It was great. It's so freaky, and it's so evil. He's such a dick, Pennywise. Oh my God, he's so mean. and he unleashes them, and he's messing with Dick, and he's hurting him. And so I'm wondering, what is he getting out of that? I wonder. Obviously, it's his fear, but is it more?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, this version of the character also just seems like to genuinely just kind of delight in like driving people insane and fucking people over, and like, I think he just enjoys it. So, I think that's probably part of it. But yeah, I don't know. It's, again, like, I don't think we should be really trying to feel out Pennywise's motivations at any point in the story, but this is the story is making us do that.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Follow up. Did we ever see Pennywise use a weapon like a giant meat cleaver? Is this like his first weapon use?
As far as I know, yeah. I mean, he could have just done it with his claws or his teeth or whatever, but
right.
This is sometimes the show just like goes for effective moments, and I think it really wanted to make Mr. Kirsch suffer, and we sure did. Which, by the way, maybe the funniest moment in the show for me is, I've just committed this hate crime. I'm going to hop into my car, and oh no, my car won't start, and everyone else just leaves him behind.
That was awesome.
Yeah. But I will say, I love the Derry radio report that happened the next day. I loved that to death. This thing of, like, it's going to show how Derry is going to paper over this whole thing. That they say it's an electrical fire. They actually say that the people in the black people in the black spot were the ones responsible for it. The white people, Mr. Kirsch, that died there, heroically trying to save as many people as he could. And like, this is actually what I wish we got more of in the course of the show was the way we see like maybe we could have used this idea of cutting back to the radio report of things happening as a way of really trying to cement how Derry reacts to things and what Derry does with them and doesn't do with them. I think that would have been an effective way of doing it, because I was like, yeah, I love this. And this is exactly what we need to do to show this is what Derry does. This horrible, tragic thing happened. Like 20 people died, including a child. And this is how we paper over it. This is how we move on. We say yada yada, it was a fire and it was their fault and our heroic guy, and we're gonna miss those cuts of meat there, Frank or whatever his name is, and then it concludes with, now here's Frank with the weather, and we've just moved on.
Yeah.
And like, so effective. Loved it.
It was really, really good. And I agree. I wish we could have had more of that, because yeah, I was so Hank's dead. They said he was, and that's what everybody's gonna believe. And so I was confused for a second. I was like, they just declared it. He's dead. Nobody got out. Okay. All right. That's how we're doing it. All right. That's the radio is the final authority, which was cool. I liked that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We've put it off for as long as we can, but we have to return to our General Shaw.
All right.
And the surprise 11th hour reveal of the show, which is that the plan to capture Pennywise and throw him at Russia was not the real plan. The plan was actually to release him on the general populace in order to stop the women's movement. The women were burning their bras, Kim, and General Shaw could not stand for it. And so he has to release a murder clown on them to teach them a lesson.
I'm not surprised. Good God. Cheese and rice-a-roni. Can you believe that? I texted Scott. I was like, do you have good blood pressure? Because do you have good heart health? Because I almost had a coronary. I almost had a cardiac episode at this part of the show.
Yeah, I was recording another podcast late last night, so I wasn't able to watch the episode until late. So I appreciate that text coming in where I was like, oh boy, I'm girding myself for what this is going to do. I just, it's so stupid. Like, and like, let's be clear here. Like, I am a red-blooded American, and that means that I pretty much think my government is incompetent and dumb. And my political leanings usually go towards the dumb, incompetent person that's like trying to give people rights, and away from the dumb, incompetent person that's trying to take away people's rights. That's normally how I go. So I'm not saying this is dumb and that I have trouble believing that somebody in power would think that this is a good idea. Like, that's not what I'm saying when I call this plan dumb. I'm just saying that as a thing to build your plot of a very expensive show on a prestige channel around is just really stupid. I just think it's really stupid. And I like the show. I think the emotion the show wants you to have in this moment is, oh my God, you despicable human being. And my emotion was just like, really?
Yeah.
What? Really? It also asked so many questions, like, why did you bring Leroy here in the first place then?
Yep.
What was any of this for?
Accurate. They made it worse. The government plot was so stupid from moment one, throwing Pennywise / at Russia / Cuba. Astronomically stupid. And now we sink further into the mud. Oh, get ready for this bamboozling. We're going to unleash it on America and make America Derry, because everyone needs to be full of fear, so you're compliant. And it's like, oh God, why?
You're going to make America Derry? So I guess the problem with it that I have, generally, like, not beyond this, I just think this is stupid, but like from a thematic perspective, Kim, like, Derry is bad, right? Like, it's not even true. The thing he says is like, yeah, like that bad thing happened last night, but look at it today. The streets are calm today. No looting, no rioting, no unrest. And I'm just thinking in my head, but he causes those things is because of the Pennywise. So I mean, it's like he's dumb. Like he's dumb. He's
Yeah.
an idiot. I actually think this kind of does a character assassination on him. And I'm not saying that I thought he was like the best human being in the world, but I thought that we were doing this really interesting thing with the Rose and Shaw relationship where we were going to at least complicate him in a way that he's like this person with noble goals that has lost his way. But no, we're just making him kind of an easy to hate scumbag. Like anyone that like his rant is going to be about race riots and the women's movement and those anti-nuke crazies. Oh yeah, those damn people that hate nuclear weapons. It's just like it's so like cartoonishly. Oh, he's just like this evil bad guy, and I don't know. It's just stupid. It's just stupid.
So stupid, and you're right. They completely destroyed any sort of interest in Shaw and what they were doing with Rose and that bond, and now nobody gives a shit. Now he's dead to me. You're a bozo. You were always a bozo from moment one, and whatever they were building, it was all a facade. And I don't like being tricked, and they trick us, and I hate that. I hate that so much.
Yeah, it's one of those tricks where it's like basically we lampshade it with like it's like, sorry we kept you in the dark so long, Lee. Like Sec Ops was more important than you, and I'm just like we're in a room with like 300 people and they all were in on the plan, and it seems like the only person that was not in on the plan was Lee.
Right,
and that's just because we need the plot to do that. Like it has to be a reveal for him, so it can be a real reveal for us. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if I have like a lot to say about it other than I just kind of felt it was stupid. And it's disappointing that this is going to be the ultimate thing at the end of like, obviously Shaw's going to die. Pennywise is probably going to kill him. And that's going to be like his moment of, oh, oops. And that's what it's going to be. But I just think it's dumb. I just think it's really dumb.
This hit lower than dumb for me, Scott, and I think this is why I had such an explosive reaction. Emotions were very high. I was crying over Rich. I was just feeling all the things. But when we got to this part in the episode, it was always dumb, right? From episode 2 or 3, when we learned what was cooking, I was tolerating and navigating the dumb in all caps. But then when we get here, then we veered into disrespect. And that's when you kill Kim C's desire. I'm like, oh, I disrespect you. Like, this is you have sunk me so low, I can't get up again. This was full on disrespect. So that was... we went into like, I cut you off forever. Like, I'm so upset. You're dead to me. We're done.
I mean, it's also silly in Indiana Jones in like every way, right? Like even the putting of they find the artifact and they put it in the box, and like that feels very Indiana Jones. Like it all just feels very Indiana Jones in a way that like maybe this plot like works in a different show, but it feels incongruous with what we're doing with everything else, like with the kids especially. Like it feels like there are two different plots going on here and we're trying to find a way to mesh them, and we do that sometimes by just like throwing the kids in the black spot because they need to be there because the plot tells them they need to be at this event, so we can murder one of them. But yeah, I mean, like I'm at a place right now where like I really love the kids. I think what the show is doing, like the show got over my cynicism about the whole idea of like doing a Losers Club 2.0. Like that was my big worry going into the season. It was not this government nonsense, whatever it is. It was just like, you're just going to repeat the Losers again. Right. What is the value in that? What is the purpose in that? What do I get out of that? And ultimately what the show has done is it's won me over with these kids. And I love every single one of the kids and I want to see them succeed and do whatever they need to do to save the day in the end. But like, I hate, the hate's a strong word. I don't like any other character at this point. Like I don't like for at various levels. I think Dick Halloran is probably the exception to that. But I don't even know what he's going to do ultimately in the end of the show now. But like even Leroy, who has this moment of like finally like recognizing that, hey, maybe I should stop caring about the mission so much because the mission is bullshit. He finally gets that moment. It's a little too late at that point, but at least we can say, okay, good. He's finally at that moment. But he sucks throughout this episode before that moment. Like the first thing he says to Will is like, you could have died. Like you're yelling at him, like give him a hug and like just tell him you're glad he's okay. And then he's like chastising Charlotte, and Charlotte's like, you're not even like reacting. Like 20 people just died. Our son almost burned to death, and you're still talking about your fucking mission. It just like what we talked about last week with making us really dislike him, like just carried on through this week to the point where it's like, I don't like this guy anymore. And so, yeah, I'm at this weird place where like all this stuff I just don't care and I don't like, but the kids, I got to do it for the kids. So that's what I'm here for in the finale.
That's a good thing to celebrate that. Yeah, we were initially very, very reticent about the copy paste job, but you're right. They did manage to win us over, because I agree. I feel the same. I was very, very nervous. I think I threw some stones at that. And probably on paper I still would, but the kids are so great. You can't not love them, and you can't not admire. Oh my gosh, Margie made me cry so many times in this episode. Scott, she's such a great crier. Yeah. She's got a real talent for drama. Like I was so into it. I really, really enjoy. And I didn't like Marge, and now I would kill for her. I would. And so they managed to do that in just a few episodes. So
what a turnaround. Yeah.
Yeah. I am still, jury's still out if this is a style over substance show. I think I'll have to sit on that a little bit longer. But I don't know. The performances are great, and I really like that.
Yeah, Matilda Lawler, I think we're going to see this girl again.
Yeah.
She's pretty great. And I mean, that's a lot of, like, again, like, going back to everything we've talked about this week and the past 6 weeks before it is, like, the production values are so high. Like, you can see the money. You can see that everyone on the crew is doing a pretty good job bringing the show to life. It's just some of the, like, not even the individual writing choices, those do bother me sometimes. Like, some of the dialogue is a little tough to get through. But, like, the overarching, like, this is what we were going to make this show about choices are the things that just I really struggle with. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe like we got one episode left. You stick the landing and all is forgiven, right? I mean, that could certainly happen. It's happened before. So, we'll find out on episode 8, but so much complicated emotions going on. Like, I can't stress enough how much I loved the Black Spot stuff. And I went into this episode like with your text to me, and I was like, Kim, I don't know what you're talking about. This is pretty good. And then it was like, oh.
I'm glad you got there eventually.
Do you think there's anyone watching the show that has no idea about Maturin the turtle and is just like flabbergasted about why this rock is kept in a turtle shell, because they never address that at all in any way, shape, or form?
There has to be, or they're just pleasantly in the dark and they have no idea. And the turtle stuff is just a quinkadink, most likely. Yeah.
I mean, like the way Maturin worked in the movies was just like references and like Easter eggs almost, right? And I kind of expected that to remain in this show. They still haven't called themselves the Children of Maturin, by the way. I don't know what you're talking about. Actress who played Rose giving us this information in an interview, and then they've never said it.
They've never once said it. Oh my God, Scott. Good grief. Oh, another question, Scott. Okay, so back to Bob Gray and Ingrid. So Mrs. Kirsch in It Chapter 2 has like some sort of German, Swedish, Scandinavian mein Vater, which is what we've said and echoed a lot. Okay, so Bill Skarsgård is Scandinavian. But did you get any international things? Did you get any vibes that he was from overseas and that they spoke this? Like, what's going on with Mein Vater?
No, there's none of that. I guess, I mean, I think Skarsgård does a good job in this performance. I really liked seeing him. I really like, he's a great actor, and I love the character when he's allowed to play the character and it doesn't just go CGI silliness. And so there's like, there's a lot of good lines. Even we didn't talk about like, what's wrong? Do I have some face on my face? Like, that's a good line. I enjoyed that line.
He's such an ass. I love it.
But no, we didn't do anything with that. I don't know if you go back and listen to episode 6, when Ingrid first starts telling the story to Lily, when she says my father for the first time, she does put just a little bit on it. Just a little bit. And it's like the only time she does it. Like, it's kind of weird, actually. Like, it's not even like fully saying Fada, but like she just put like, I think that's such a weird choice. Like, I'm kind of into it because it doesn't make any sense, but I think that's such a weird choice.
It is. And I know the exact phrase you're talking about. It's just like a little touch. And so I was hoping that with this grand origin story flashback we got, like we would have had a little bit of that. And we don't. It sounds like, I don't know where Bob Gray is from. I don't know at all.
I mean, what it means is that the Pennywise Mrs. Kirsch was just a complete makeup, which we kind of knew, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the guess, at least, that he's just pulling shit out to mess with her, and maybe he just thought that was funny. I don't know. Pennywise in this show works in mysterious ways. It's that 4D chess he's always doing, Kim. He's thinking 3 steps ahead of everyone.
It's true. I want to circle back to the brilliant phrase that you said of Pennywise's gore pit. I thought that was very accurate. But we have an awesome stylistic design moment with Pennywise in his jump scare on top of the fridge behind Will. He looks so good. The suit is fully blood soaked, and it's up to it. I just love this. I just thought design wise, this is so freaky. It's so cool. So I just wanted to put a couple stars in that direction. I loved it.
I agree. I mean, this is one of those things where you think they got that idea first and then they backtrack to it of like, we're going to get to see what Pennywise looks like when he's sleeping. And for some reason, he's still the clown. And like, I don't know. Once again, as a book reader, what I thought the 27-year cycle was and the sleeping and the hibernation was, this is an intergalactic, interdimensional cosmic entity, right? When he's sleeping, I think he just like can't maintain physical form and goes into like weird dead lightsy cosmic stuff, right? Like that in my mind was what it sleeping meant. I didn't think what it sleeping meant was literally Pennywise like gathering his disembodied limbs around him like stuffed animals and then dipping into his blood blanket and shutting his eyes for a nice nap. But sure, whatever, right? Like we have to depict this in some way because we're going to show it. So this is what they went with. And like, yeah, I agree. Ultimately, like the look that we get, I think is very distinct. And I think you made a comment weeks ago when you saw this in a coming soon thing that it is kind of an inverse of the Native American war paint that we see from the chief character, which is, it seems like at this point accidental, but cool.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. I'm excited for more of that. But yeah, I don't think he would nap as the clown either. I think that he would be in deadlight goo form. He's cosmic at that point, right? Or Spider? Yeah. He's Spider. He's Spider.
Sure. Yeah.
She's Spider. I think what I love most about the episode's progression and our coverage, Scott, is like the exasperated I don't know. Like at one point, both of us are just like, and it's just exasperated confusion.
And I just don't have a lot of confidence that the 60-minute finale is going to plug in all those I don't knows. Certainly we'll get some of them. And maybe ultimately, like what I would be happy with is we get answers to some of the I don't knows, and then we get shown the ones that don't actually matter. That's what I would be most happy with. So maybe this is a good place to stop, though. Like, what in your mind does the finale have to do to like make it when you look back on this season of the show, you're like, that was a success. That accomplished what I wanted an It prequel spin-off series to accomplish.
This is a great question. I think I was headed in that direction. I'm very excited by this possible trio of women heading into this brave troop of girls, because I'm intrigued that we've had this female-only theme circling around the show throughout the episodes with the origin story, and Rose is the one who had the dagger. So we have these females in positions of great power, great importance, great authority. Lily is the one who now has the dagger. So I'm enjoying what they're doing with that. And now it's Margie, Lily, Ronnie. So I'm excited for what they're going to do. I, once more, am preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. But that excites me. I wonder what they're doing with that, because throughout all of the discourse on it, everybody is nonstop in the "we will defend Beverly Marsh to the death." Like, Bev is so beloved because she is, many believe, the strongest, most powerful member of the Losers Club. She is the heart of the group in many ways. And so I'm liking this female slant. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about what direction they could go with that. In terms of other successes, what I'm nervous about is the characters are who we care about. So I'd like to see some good arcs. Like, okay, so what's next for these characters in a satisfying way? Where are we looking at them and we're 100% certain that they've changed for the better, ? Or are they changed in a way that we could follow? I think that's a good place to start. But ultimately, I don't know. I'm hoping. Well, I'm not hoping. I'm preparing for the worst and just hoping that I don't know, that it works somehow.
Yeah, I want to see something really satisfying for the kids. I think I agree with you there. Like, I mean, even if some of them have to die, and even if they don't win in the way we mean when we say the word win, making it satisfying. Like I think an ultimately disappointing ending that I'm worried we're heading towards is just Lily gets sent back to Juniper Hill, and maybe even gets like lobotomized or something, which would just feel, I mean, like, cruel in the way that like sometimes horror movies love to like twist the knife at the very end as like a final gotcha.
Yeah.
But like, just like it would make me sit back and be like, okay, then what was the point of all that? Like, what was the point of watching this character's journey over the course of these 8 episodes and her trials and tribulations? So I hope we don't ultimately do something like that. I don't need them to win. I do still think Veronica Grogan is going to die because they picked her name specifically because she was a victim in the book. So I think that is going to happen. I need to see, in my mind, something satisfying with Dick Halloran as well.
Yeah.
That's one thing where I'm like you can probably see the form of what they're going to do with the girls and its confrontation with it. I think she's probably going to link up with Rose in some way. Maybe even Charlotte. Maybe we're just going to gather all the women together like it's Avengers Endgame, and they're all just going to do their girl pose, and then go fight the bad guys. But like I can see like the shape of that with Dick Halloran. I don't know how they end that arc. Like I really don't. Is he just he's just going to be like walking out of Derry, the box is still not back on the lid, and he's just dealing with it, and that's all we're going to do? And just like, see you down the road, partner, and we catch up with him in The Shining in some way. Maybe. I would like to see something. I would like to see something a little bit more satisfying than that, because if that's what we do, then the last one we leave him with is telling everyone where the shard was and helping kick this whole thing off. So I hope he steps up and does something in the finale that fulfills some sort of arc.
Samesies, do you know what they could do that would make my brain explode? Oh my God, Scott, if they had Tony come in and Tony saves Dick. And it's little Danny, who's grown up Tony, who comes to save Dick. That would redeem the entire show for me. I would call it the greatest show that has ever existed if that happened. It won't, but that's my
I would roll
script.
my eyes so hard that they would fall out of my head and I would never be able to watch television again, but I would be okay with it because that would be terrible.
I would respect the stretch so much. I would respect the wild, gargantuan, crazy left field throw. I would give them so many props for just honoring the King canon in that way. If Tony comes onto the scene, I'm gonna lose it. I totally will. I'm trying to think of, I was going to say something about what I need. Oh, it was a question. Do you think, Scott, it would be satisfying / do you think we will see the kids grown up in the final episode at all? Or do you think we'll most likely fade out and we won't get that?
Well, I think we're going to see Marge tell little Richie that dinner's ready and he's got to come back. I don't know. I mean, that's a fair question. I do think so. The big thing that I think the show has to do, and we said this already, I'm just hit this beat again. I do think the show has to at least, it doesn't have to fully answer the question, but it has to at least shine a little bit of light on why they've decided to structure it this way. Why start in 62 and then work backwards?
Right.
I think we need a little bit of that. I think part of answering that question could possibly be the show chaining forward and backwards at the same time. So it chains backwards to show how things are going to be connected back to the events in the 30s, but at the same time chaining forward to show how these things naturally are going to lead to the events that occur in the 80s. And perhaps part of that is getting to touch base with these characters as adults and seeing who they are and if they're still in Derry, why,
right,
and all that jazz.
Do you think Ronnie Grogan and Will are Mike's parents?
I mean, I think Ronnie's gonna die, so no.
Okay.
But I could see it. I don't remember what Mike's mother's name is in the book. I'm blanking on that right now.
Samesies.
Did you you saw it because I sent it to you? They did like I forget, it was an HBO, like a Latin America HBO account that was doing like all the different characters in the show throughout time. And it showed like Dick Halloran in Welcome to Derry, and then Dick Halloran in The Shining, and then Dick Halloran in Dr. Sleep. And it was doing this for every single one of the characters. And then for Will Hanlon, it showed little Will Hanlon, and then the second shot for Will Hanlon was his burned arm reaching out of the fire that killed him. I'm just like, you clever bastards.
I was horrified. I hated it so much. It was very clever, but it was also the worst because I love the Hanlons so much. It was awful. Poor taste, but also you get points for originality.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we'll see. I think we're going to tie it forward. Like, you know, the Marge is Richie's mother thing has been kind of a joke with us and I think with a lot of people. But I do think ultimately we're going to try to connect these kids up in some way. That just feels like the natural. Like these are the kids that survived this and. Whichever one of them survived. These are the kids that survived this in 62 and maybe we're going to say laid the seeds for the Losers Club in 87 in some way. I don't know.
I think Lily as Bev's mom works really well based on what we have in the book.
Sure.
Yeah, she was very sort of despondent and not very present, and so I could get on board if they make Lily Bev's mom, which, yeah, sad.
I mean, the problem with all this is I think this is going to happen at least a little bit, but the end result of all this is that these poor, innocent, wonderful children turn into pieces of shit as adults. Like at worst, looking the other way, like Mrs. Marsh does with her terrible abusive husband, and at best, like just being completely ignorant to what's really going on in town, right? And maybe that's part of the point of the cycle. That's like this is what happens. You're a kid, you go through this horrible traumatic thing, and then you grow up and you forget about it, and in the worst possible way.
It is sad. It is sad to think that the love we have for these kids and all that they've overcome, and if we connect that to their kids and how shitty parents they are, I mean, that is a heartbreaking pill to swallow. And I'm thinking they might go in that direction for fan service. I'd give them major points if they didn't, but I don't think they will.
I would be okay with it if it wasn't just for fan service, if it was part of whatever concluding theme they have and idea they have on why they're telling this story in particular. I think some evidence to support what you're saying here. Do you know the name of the finale?
I do not.
The episode is titled Winter Fire.
Oh my God, Scott, it's happening! It's happening.
So we are connecting back to Bev Marsh, if not literally, then figuratively with this idea. So
holy hell. Oh my goodness. Another question, Scott. Do you believe General Shaw will be eaten by Pennywise?
Oh, 100%.
Yay!
Like it's gonna be like one of those moments where in Jurassic Park, the book, not the movie, where John Hammond is eaten by his creation. Like that is what we're doing. 100%. Yeah.
I'm excited for how they do that. I hope it's a good one.
Yeah. I also kind of want that Colonel to get eaten.
Oh yeah.
I don't like that guy.
Yeah, he's a D-bag. Not a fan.
Yeah. What are we going to do with Leroy? I mean, I think Leroy's done in the Air Force, right? He's like, I think his arc has basically kind of fully revealed itself at this point, where he was the mission guy. He was the guy that's going to follow orders, and he believed in this country and the best of this country. Like, I think that was the first line he said, right? Was, I believe what's good about this country outweighs what's bad about this country. I don't think we're going to leave Leroy with that same opinion. And I think that's something we feared was going to happen when that idea was first introduced to us in the first episode, that his time in Derry is going to flip-flop that. And so he's done with the U.S. military.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. And like, maybe he'll just get dishonorably discharged, or maybe he'll just go full AWOL. I don't know how that's going to work in the aftermath of everything that's about to go down in the town. But I think that's the case. We still don't have the answer for why Leroy would stay in Derry. I am still concerned that it is the exact reason we said last week, which is Charlotte dies here. I still think I could see that happening ultimately.
I like that a lot. However, they've had such a divide between them the entire show. Like you mentioned, it broke this episode. Leroy's devotion to the military is broken. And he had said earlier in the episode to Charlotte, we're leaving. Like, we are done. We're gonna leave
as soon as this last little bit of the mission is
right.
We're gonna leave. Yeah.
So yeah, there's this huge cavern between them in terms of values for the family. So I believe it's possible that if Charlotte dies, he would stay. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. They seem so separated. They seem so... I'm wondering if she might leave him. I don't know. That's wild. That's wild, but
then like...
She wouldn't leave Will. I don't know. It's a big thing.
I mean, maybe they could do like he feels this need to stay over some obligation to keep watch over this thing.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then he does a real bad job of it. He forgets he becomes like Mike Hanlon, who follows him. He like becomes the lighthouse keeper, but doesn't do a good job of it.
Right. What I am concerned about, there's been little things that It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2 put forth, and then they're inconsistent here. So what I'm really frightened of, Scott, is that they're just going to disconnect the films from the show completely, in which case all is lost.
That would be such a weird choice, yeah.
Agree, because it's a completely different tribe that Pennywise spoke of. in It Chapter 2. Totally different tribal name. I have not forgotten. And I'm really upset about it. Like, did anybody check on that? Is anybody supervising the script? Is anyone doing their due diligence to make sure there's a cohesive bridge?
There's just 2 tribes in the area, Kim, and they both were fighting Pennywise in their own special way.
We'll just go with that, I guess. Well, sure, whatever. S, W. We'll just we're gonna make it work. Okay. But like, yeah, because according to It Chapter 1, gosh, Leroy Hanlon ain't doing so good. So I'm hoping that they bridge that. I'm hoping that we do see that concordancy. Like, what happens to this character does carry out into the story we've previously told. That would be responsible writing, and I would appreciate that, but I'm really scared they're not gonna do it.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, this is ultimately the problem of prequels in general, is like, you want to tell a certain story, but you're beholden to all this other stuff, and you're going to try to finagle your way into connecting it while also telling the story you want to tell. And it's weird. And it's always a little weird because, like, one way or another, these kids are either going to die or they're going to grow up and be part of the problem. We know they can't defeat it. We know that can't happen. We know that there's no mention of pillars and magic rocks in the movies. So those maybe those go away in some form, or I don't know. It hurts my brain trying to come up with reasons for why this is going to connect in. But I think honestly, it'll probably just be a loose connection, and that's it. We'll draw a line to the losers of 87 and be done with it.
I think ultimately what I will always be very upset about this show for is just depleting my energy so much from spiraling off into Crazy Town with I don't know. This show has created the most exasperated I don't knows ever. Like,
if it was like super bad, it would be easy to just be like, oh, it's just bad. So that's why is it like this? Well, because it's bad. And it's not bad. Like, that's the thing, is like this show is pretty good and frequently great. And that's so the things that the head scratching, hurt your brain, trying to understand why they would do that, why we're doing it this way, how we're telling the story, and inconsistencies and things like that stand out more in a show that is good than it does in a show that is bad, because you have, like, there's a certain level of expectation. We talked about this on day one. This is an HBO Sunday night show. There's a certain level of expectation that comes to this. And in 9 ways out of 10, the show is meeting that expectation. And so it's that one that just like, it just bugs you. It just like, like you just want to figure it out and you just want to make it good. And that's been my struggle through all 7 episodes so far.
Nailed it. That's it. That's it. That's what it is. It's like this gnawing little coiling worm. And you're just like, why did they do it that way? That was a really poor choice. And then that thought will echo for the next 5 days in your brain. And then compound that 7 times, 7 episodes with all of that spiraling.
And then in 3 years, we get to do it again. Only this time, it'll be on Netflix. Yay.
Yay! Question mark.
I actually don't think that deal's going to go through. We'll see, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I hope not. It sounds very... I don't know enough about it, so I shouldn't comment too much, but it doesn't sound great.
Well, the problem with it is it's not great, but the other option is not great either. So we're kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't in a situation like this. So, yeah. Fun stuff. Gotta love the entertainment industry in 2025, filled with hope and promise, and all the shows you love will definitely continue to get made.
Gulp.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you wanted to say about episode 7, The Black Spot?
No, we tackled all the things that I want to tackle. I guess there's some theories floating around about Little Rich could have fit in the cooler. Do you agree with this?
Let's not do this Titanic. They both could have fit on the. Let's not do this. No.
I know, you're right, but
Look, here's Rose and Jack could not have fit on the door, and all you have to do to know that is to watch the movie and see when Jack tried to climb up on the door and it capsized, and then he said, "Oh, okay. If I try to get on this too, we're both going to fall in the water, and so I'm just going to let her get on it." It's the same thing. He opened up the thing, he put her inside, and he said, "Oh, I'm not going to fit." Okay.
I know you're right. He was little, and I thought
He was very little.
And I just thought he could squeeze in there. It might have been uncomfortable. It might have been tight. I just wanted in my heart a different fate for him because I love him so much. So this is the mark of success. This is a mark of success that I was so moved by their performances and the scene and the whole thing that I just wish that different choices could have been made and Rich would have been preserved. But I understand for the sake of the story, they had to increase the stakes. I get it. But my heart was very moved.
Yeah. And this is something I will always only ever say about fictional characters and not real life people. But it's not every day you get a death as profound as getting to save someone's life and then kiss the cooler as the girl you had a crush on tells you they love you. Like, you're not going to get a death much better than that. We all got to die sometimes. And in this fictional world of fictional characters, this is a pretty good death, all things considered.
Yeah, it was. It was really good. It was. I'm still, I didn't think I would latch onto it as tightly as I did, but the kids won me over.
I just want to say what I wanted to happen in the moment is Rich is telling the story and he says, "And then you told me take a picture to last longer." And you didn't even say it mean. And what I wanted Marge to say in that moment is, "No, I did. It was meant to be mean." I'm sorry, kid. No, like you didn't understand what the saying meant at that time. What I was being an asshole.
I was being a mean girl. I'm sorry, Rich. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, my favorite. I'm sure you've seen this movie because you're a film champion, but I've been dying over some of the memes that a lot of the fans have posted. Do you remember the movie La Bamba from the late?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember his brother when Richie Valens dies in the plane crash? Sorry, that was a spoiler, everyone who hasn't watched it, but it's a true story of Richie Valens, the musician.
Yeah, spoiler for a thing that happened in real life.
Right? But they just got it's his brother, and after he learns Richie died, he just screams, "Richie!" And people have been posting that meme and that film clip all over, and I just bless every single one of them because it's so perfect, because it's a very appropriate scream of Richie.
That's great.
It's perfection.
That's Lou Diamond Phillips. He's phenomenal.
You got it. It's such a great movie.
He was just in The Chair Company, the show on HBO that comes out after Welcome to Derry, which is one of my favorite shows of the year. Delightful.
I've been in a Derry hole. I got to get back to normal television because I've just been watching Holiday Baking and then Derry horrors. So,
well, the thing about The Chair Company is it's a Tim Robinson show, and like you could meet like 6 people and they would all tell you varying levels of how much they can stand Tim Robinson. I find him absolutely hilarious. My wife cannot stand him and does not understand why I'm laughing as much as I am. So like, he's a not for everyone comedian. So if you don't like his brand of humor, you're going to absolutely despise the show.
Copy that. I will do a test drive. We'll do a test run.
All right. Unless we want to talk about The Chair Company for the next 30 minutes, we should wrap up this episode right here. Next week, we will be back with the finale of it, Welcome to Derry Season 1. I already said the title, but it is Winter Fire. I'm really curious what that ultimately ends up meaning. I think you're right. I think the Bev connection, I think we're laying the groundwork for the Bev connection. And that would be a really sad outcome for Lily Marsh. Like, it would be really sad,
Yeah.
but perhaps inevitable. And perhaps that's part of the point, is that you either die or you live long enough to see yourself become a parent of Derry.
Nice.
It's just as bad.
I mean, young Rose had the slingshot, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see them pull in some.
Oh, you think Chekhov's slingshot's going to come back? What would happen? What would happen if you slingshotted a piece of the meteor like into Pennywise's face?
Ooh,
what would happen there?
I think we would get the It 1990 chunk.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
The chunk with the blast of light. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I love the It 1990 miniseries. I love it so much.
It's great. It's delightful. I love it.
It is. I love how much they hug. I want more hugging. I love when the kids hug.
The kids all hugged a lot in this one.
They did.
Really,
I loved it. Oh, I loved it.
Maybe General Shaw was right, because this tragedy has bound them together into a unit, and it's all because of him. So we do need to release It on the United States. It's the only way we'll stop the protests, Kim.
Ew.
No one's going to protest if a clown monster could eat them.
Yeah? Yeah, I mean...
Probably.
Right. That does track, logically. I'm not leaving my house. So, sure, in theory, oh my God. That dialogue, or that monologue from General Shaw, my whole body cringed. Scott, I was so upset. I don't know. I was unhinged.
It's tough because, like, am I just reacting this way because I just can't stand what it's doing? But like, part of me was like, and I love the actor that's playing General Shaw. Part of me felt his performance of that monologue kind of sucked. Like, I just think he did like a bad job acting. Like, and maybe that's just my feelings about where the show is going is influencing my interpretation of the scene. But yeah, I just don't think he like delivered the lines very well. And maybe that's not his fault. Maybe it's just the lines were not good. And you know, it's hard to deliver bad lines well sometimes. But yeah, I think that actor's great. I really like him. And I just didn't think that was a good scene, not from a writing perspective, from a performance perspective. And that's it sticks out again, because I think the show is otherwise like across the board, like just some really good performances.
Yeah, I could entertain all those theories. It was the script, might have been a little bit of him. All I know is that in our third act, Kim C was spitting and cussing.
Well, I hope for your sake and for all of our sakes that there will be none of that in the last hour of the show.
I hope so. I hope I'm just pleasantly surprised. I'm hoping that's what happens, and that I'm just pleasantly surprised across the board, because I'm always excited to give credit to this show, and I've been really excited by a lot of things they've done. So, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like, one thing is that is absolutely true is I am anxiously awaiting every single episode. Like, it feels weird to look forward to Sunday night, because that means I have to go to work the next morning. But no, I'm just like, when I get to the weekend, I'm like, hell yeah, I can't wait for Sunday. This is gonna be great. So and everything else aside we talked about, I'm still that way. I'm still looking forward to the Sunday and what the finale will bring to us.
Samesies. I'm always looking forward to talking about it with you. So that's fun.
Yeah.
It's also really fun. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go.
I love it when I'll see something, I'm like, Scott's gonna hate this. And it usually bubbles up. I was like, oh, I knew it. It was awesome. So that's my other favorite part.
Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for us this week. Next week, episode 8, Winter Fire. Until then, Kim, where are you on this big world wide web that we live on?
Inside the 13 pillars. So I'm on Spotify mostly, but anywhere you get your podcasts, you can find The Year of Underrated Stephen King, my one-woman Stephen King podcast. And then I'm also doing a lot of work the main podcast is a little quiet right now as I make my way through Welcome to Derry. So you could also jump over to the Dance Macabre with Kim C at patreon.com/dance with Kim C, dance with an S. Or you could say hi at my email, underratedsk@gmail, and we could talk some Stephen King shop.
Yeah, and you can email this show here at kingslingerspod@gmail.com. You can also find Kingslingers and Flanagan's Wake, our other podcast, over at Spotify. Matt and I think we just recorded our final episode on Bly Manor last night. So
congratulations!
He has reached the end. That's not going to be out till next Thursday, and then of course we're going to do our overview episode and then wrap up year 1 of Flanagan's Wake before we move into Midnight Mass in January.
Scott, this is such an achievement! Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's exciting.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's great. It's been great. I look forward to Midnight Mass so much. That's the one that's kind of been I've been waiting for. I think it's gonna be so much fun to talk about. So
it's the greatest thing ever. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah. So make sure you subscribe and check that out, and keep sending in your comments. We're gonna have a lot to talk about next week, I'm sure. I want to hear what y'all think as well. And then I think I don't know if I've talked to you about this, Kim. I would like to do like one final like overview episode that we normally do on Kingslingers, where we've seen the final episode and then we've taken a week to kind of digest the season as a whole and then come back and see how we feel about it. So,
I love this. This is great.
So we've got 2 more episodes to go. And
love it.
And then we'll be good. So we'll see you folks.
Then Santa comes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think our final episode will come out on Christmas Eve. So
magic.
Yeah. All right. Y'all have a good week. Happy Welcome to Derry finale week. And hope you guys enjoy it. And we'll see you right back here on the next Wednesday for the finale. Let's hope we all love it as much as we possibly could. Until then, long days and pleasant nights.
And may you have twice the number.